Have you ever tried to imagine something so massive that it could fit over 1,000,000 Earths inside it, yet remains completely invisible to the naked eye? Something so powerful that it holds hundreds of billions of stars in perfect orbital submission, yet sits hidden behind veils of cosmic dust, like a cosmic puppet master pulling invisible strings. Tonight, I want to take you on a journey to meet the most mind-bending object in our cosmic neighborhood. We're going to explore Sagittarius A star, the supermassive black hole lurking at the very heart of our Milky Way galaxy. And I promise you, by the time we're done, you'll never look up at the night sky the same way again. If you find these explorations into the deepest mysteries of space fascinating, I'd be incredibly grateful if you'd hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Also, drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from tonight. There's something beautifully humbling about people scattered across our small blue planet, all united in wonder about the cosmic giants that surround us. Now, before we dive into this cosmic rabbit hole, let me share something that's going to absolutely shatter your perception of scale. Right now, as you're sitting there watching this video, you're actually hurtling through space at over 500,000 miles per hour. You can't feel it, you can't sense it, but every atom in your body is being dragged along by something so incomprehensibly massive that it defies every instinct we have about how the universe should work. 26,000 light years away from where you're sitting right now, there exists a monster. Not the kind from childhood nightmares, but something far more terrifying because it's absolutely, undeniably real. This creature has no teeth, no claws, no roaring voice. Instead, it devours light itself, bends the very fabric of space and time, and holds our entire galaxy in its gravitational grip. This is Sagittarius A star, and it weighs 4 million times more than our Sun. That's not a typo. 4 million suns worth of mass compressed into a region smaller than our solar system. And here's the truly mind-bending part. Despite this unimaginable mass, despite the fact that it's literally holding hundreds of billions of stars in perfect orbital formation, this thing is so dark, so perfectly black, that we've only recently managed to take its photograph. The first image of Sagittarius A star was released just 2 years ago in 2022, and what it revealed changed astronomy forever. But this isn't just another space documentary about some distant object that has no impact on your daily life. This is deeply personal, because right now, as you breathe, as your heart beats, as thoughts flow through your mind, Sagittarius A star is determining your fate. It's the reason our solar system exists in this particular corner of the galaxy. It's the reason the seasons change the way they do. It's even influencing the cosmic radiation that shapes evolution on Earth. We are, in the most literal sense, children of this monster. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. When most people hear black hole, they immediately imagine some cosmic vacuum cleaner that's going to eventually suck up everything in the universe. That's not how black holes work. And Sagittarius A star isn't going to destroy Earth, or even our solar system. We're far too distant to be in any immediate danger, but that doesn't make it any less fascinating or important to understand. The real question isn't whether Sagittarius A star will destroy us. The real question is how this monster shaped the very existence of everything we know and love. You see, supermassive black holes like Sagittarius A star aren't just cosmic curiosities sitting at the centers of galaxies like paperweights. They're the architects of cosmic structure itself. They determine how galaxies form, how they evolve, and how they die. The relationship between Sagittarius A star and the Milky Way represents one of the most beautiful examples of cosmic partnership in the universe. The black hole's gravity holds our galaxy together, preventing it from flying apart as it rotates through space. But the galaxy, in return, feeds the black hole, sending streams of gas and dust spiraling inward in a process that releases more energy than billions of nuclear bombs every single second. This feeding process creates one of the most spectacular light shows in the universe. As matter falls towards Sagittarius A star, it forms what astronomers call an accretion disk. Picture a swirling whirlpool of superheated gas that glows brighter than entire star systems. The friction in this cosmic blender heats the gas to temperatures of millions of degrees, causing it to emit radiation across the entire electromagnetic spectrum. From radio waves to X-rays, Sagittarius A star broadcasts its presence across the galaxy like a cosmic lighthouse. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary. The monster at the heart of our galaxy isn't always hungry. Sometimes it goes quiet for years, decades, even centuries, barely consuming any matter at all. Then, without warning, it roars back to life when a new stream of gas or an unlucky star wanders too close to its gravitational web. These feeding frenzies can increase the black hole's brightness by factors of hundreds or thousands, turning our normally quiet galactic center into a blazing beacon, visible across intergalactic distances. The most recent major feeding event happened just a few years ago, when astronomers watched a cloud of gas called G2 approach Sagittarius, a star. For months, they held their breath, waiting to see if the cloud would survive its close encounter or be torn apart and devoured. The cloud survived, but barely, emerging as a stretched and distorted shadow of its former self. It was like watching a cosmic near-death experience unfold in real time, and it gave us unprecedented insights into how these monsters consume matter. But to truly understand just how big Sagittarius A star really is, we need to put its mass into perspective. Our Sun, which seems impossibly large from Earth, would be completely insignificant next to this galactic giant. If you could somehow line up suns like marbles, you'd need 4 million of them to equal the mass of Sagittarius A star. But mass is just one way to measure size. Let's talk about the actual physical dimensions of this cosmic beast. The event horizon, the boundary beyond which nothing can escape, has a diameter of about 24 million kilometers. That might not sound enormous until you realize that's roughly the distance from Earth to Venus when the planets are at their closest approach. The entire region that Sagittarius A star dominates stretches even further. Its gravitational influence extends across thousands of light years, affecting the orbits and behavior of stars throughout the inner galaxy. But here's where things get truly mind-bending. Despite being 4 million times more massive than our Sun, Sagittarius A star actually occupies a relatively compact region of space. If you could somehow travel to the galactic center and look around, you wouldn't see a giant visible object dominating the landscape. You'd see stars orbiting around what appears to be empty space, dancing to the rhythm of an invisible gravitational conductor. The story of how we discovered this invisible giant reads like the greatest detective novel ever written. For most of human history, we had absolutely no idea that Sagittarius A star existed. When our ancestors looked up at the night sky and saw the gentle sweep of the Milky Way across the darkness, they assumed they understood their cosmic neighborhood. They were wrong. Catastrophically, beautifully wrong. The first clue that something massive lurked at the galactic center came in the 1930s when a young engineer working for Bell Telephone Laboratories accidentally stumbled upon radio waves coming from the center of our galaxy. Carl Jansky had no idea what he was detecting, but he had just heard the first whisper from the monster's lair. For the next 50 years, astronomers would piece together fragments of evidence like investigators working the coldest of cold cases. They couldn't see their target directly because it's hidden behind thick clouds of interstellar dust that block visible light, but they could detect its influence through the behavior of nearby stars. Stars near the galactic center were moving in ways that defied explanation, whipping around invisible gravitational anchors at speeds that should have torn them apart. It was like watching dancers perform an intricate ballet around a partner that no one could see. Then came the breakthrough that changed everything. In the 1990s, two teams of astronomers began tracking individual stars orbiting near the galactic center with unprecedented precision. What they discovered was so extraordinary that it earned them the Nobel Prize in Physics. These stars weren't just moving fast, they were moving impossibly fast, completing orbits that took them closer to the galactic center than Pluto is to our Sun, reaching speeds of over 15 million miles per hour. One star in particular, designated S2, became the smoking gun that confirmed the monster's existence. S2 completes a full orbit around Sagittarius, a star every 16 years, and when it reaches its closest approach, something remarkable happens. The star's light gets stretched and distorted by the extreme gravity, confirming Einstein's predictions about how space and time behave near massive objects. This wasn't just astronomy anymore. This was physics at its absolute limit, where theory meets reality in the most extreme environment imaginable. The object these stars were orbiting, this 4 million solar mass monster, occupies a region of space smaller than the orbit of Mercury around our Sun. How do you pack that much mass into such a small space? There's only one answer that makes sense, and it's an answer that would have sounded like pure fantasy just a century ago. Sagittarius A star is a supermassive black hole. Not just any black hole, but our black hole. The gravitational anchor point around which our entire galaxy rotates. And when I say our entire galaxy, I mean every single one of the estimated 400 billion stars in the Milky Way, including our Sun, are ultimately dancing to the gravitational rhythm set by this cosmic monster. But here's what makes this story even more incredible. Sagittarius A star isn't just massive beyond comprehension. It's also one of the most precisely measured objects in the entire universe. Thanks to decades of patient observation, we now know its mass to within a fraction of a percent. We've tracked the orbits of stars around it with such accuracy that we can predict their positions years in advance. This precision has revealed something absolutely stunning about how gravity works in extreme conditions. When star S2 makes its closest approach to Sagittarius A star, racing past at nearly 5% the speed of light, time itself begins to behave strangely. The star's clock, if it had one, would tick measurably slower than clocks here on Earth. This isn't science fiction. This is Einstein's theory of relativity playing out in real time, 26,000 light-years away. The monster's gravity is so intense that it literally warps the flow of time itself. If you could somehow survive near its event horizon, you would watch the rest of the universe age rapidly while your own time crawled forward at a snail's pace. But the true scale of Sagittarius A star becomes even more mind-boggling when we consider its role in galactic architecture. This isn't just a really big object sitting at the center of our galaxy like some cosmic paperweight. It's actively managing the entire galactic ecosystem, regulating star formation, controlling the flow of gas and dust, and determining where new solar systems can form. Think of it as the ultimate cosmic conductor, orchestrating a symphony that involves hundreds of billions of stars across 100,000 light-years of space. When Sagittarius A star feeds actively, it releases energy that heats up gas clouds throughout the inner galaxy, preventing them from cooling and collapsing to form new stars. When it goes quiet, star formation can resume in nearby regions. This feedback mechanism means that Sagittarius A star has been controlling the birth rate of stars in our galaxy for billions of years. It determines not just where stars form, but when they form and how many form at any given time. The monster doesn't just hold our galaxy together, it actively manages its evolution like a cosmic ecosystem engineer. Recent observations have revealed that this management system is incredibly sophisticated. Sagittarius A star doesn't just randomly consume matter and release energy. It responds to conditions in its environment, becoming more active when there's abundant fuel available and going dormant when resources are scarce. It's almost as if the black hole is alive, breathing in rhythm with the galaxy around it. The breathing pattern of our galactic monster follows cycles that last millions of years. During active phases, Sagittarius A star blazes with the light of billions of suns, heating gas clouds throughout the inner galaxy and launching powerful jets of particles that extend thousands of light years into space. These jets carve enormous bubbles in the galactic gas, creating structures so large they dwarf entire star-forming regions. We're talking about cosmic architecture on scales that make our solar system look like a grain of sand on a beach. During quiet phases, the monster becomes almost invisible, detectable only through the orbital dance of nearby stars and the occasional flicker of radiation from small amounts of infalling matter. These dormant periods allow gas to cool and accumulate near the galactic center, setting the stage for the next feeding frenzy when conditions are right. We're living through one of these quiet periods right now. Sagittarius A star is consuming matter at a rate far below its theoretical maximum, barely glowing with the energy equivalent of a few million suns. But astronomers know this tranquility won't last forever. The monster is simply waiting for its next meal. And when that meal arrives, our entire galaxy will light up like a cosmic fireworks display. The most likely trigger for the next major feeding event will be the disruption of gas clouds by nearby stars, or the unfortunate fate of a star that wanders too close to the point of no return. When that happens, we'll witness one of the most spectacular shows in the universe, broadcast live from the heart of our own galaxy. But studying Sagittarius A star presents unique challenges that push our technology to its absolute limits. The monster is hidden behind layers of cosmic dust that block most wavelengths of light. For decades, astronomers could only glimpse it indirectly, like detectives trying to understand a crime scene through shadows on the wall. They had to develop entirely new ways of seeing, using radio waves, infrared radiation, and X-rays to peer through the cosmic fog. The breakthrough came with the development of adaptive optics and space-based telescopes that could compensate for atmospheric distortion and cut through interstellar dust. Suddenly, astronomers could track individual stars as they orbited the invisible monster, mapping their paths with precision that would have been unimaginable just a few decades earlier. But even with these technological advances, capturing the first direct image of Sagittarius A star required something unprecedented in the history of astronomy. The Event Horizon Telescope project linked radio telescopes across 6 continents, creating a virtual telescope the size of Earth itself. This global collaboration had to account for Earth's rotation, atmospheric conditions, equipment failures, and even political tensions that sometimes made international cooperation challenging. The image they produced in 2022 wasn't just a scientific triumph, it was a testament to human cooperation in the face of cosmic mystery. That first photograph revealed something both familiar and alien. Sagittarius A star looks remarkably similar to other supermassive black holes we've photographed, showing the same characteristic ring of glowing matter surrounding a dark central region. But there were subtle differences that revealed our monster's unique personality. Sagittarius A star is much more variable than other black holes, flickering and changing brightness on timescales of minutes rather than days. It's like comparing a steady campfire to a strobe light. This variability makes our galactic center much more challenging to photograph than other black holes, requiring sophisticated computer algorithms to piece together a coherent image from rapidly changing data. The flickering nature tells us something important about how matter behaves in the extreme environment near a black hole's event horizon. Gas doesn't fall in smoothly and steadily. Instead, it forms hotspots and magnetic field lines that twist and reconnect in chaotic patterns, creating sudden bursts of radiation that light up different parts of the accretion disk unpredictably. These magnetic field interactions are so violent that they can accelerate particles to nearly the speed of light, creating jets of matter that shoot outward from the black hole at incredible velocities. While Sagittarius A**'s jets aren't as prominent as those from more active supermassive black holes, they're still powerful enough to carve bubbles in the galactic gas that extend thousands of light years from the monster's lair. These bubbles, discovered by the Fermi Space Telescope, are filled with high-energy particles and magnetic fields that affect the entire galactic environment. The discovery of these structures completely changed our perspective on Sagittarius A**. Suddenly, our galactic monster wasn't just a gravitational anchor sitting passively at the center of our galaxy. It was an active participant in galactic ecology, pumping energy throughout the Milky Way and influencing processes happening thousands of light years away. This revelation has forced astronomers to reconsider the role of supermassive black holes in cosmic evolution. They're not just endpoints of gravitational collapse. They're cosmic engines that regulate star formation, distribute heavy elements, and shape the large-scale structure of the universe. The monster at our galactic center isn't just holding our galaxy together. It's actively managing its development like a cosmic gardener, tending to a billion-star ecosystem. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Sagittarius A**'s influence is how it extends through time as well as space. This massive world has been performing its gravitational symphony for over 4 billion years. Every asteroid deflected, every comet redirected, every subtle orbital adjustment accumulated over geological ages represents the monster exercising its influence across timescales that dwarf human comprehension. During Earth's early bombardment period, when our planet was still cooling from its formation, Sagittarius A* was already acting as a cosmic traffic controller. The water in our oceans, the carbon in our bodies, the iron in our blood may all have reached Earth because of gravitational interactions orchestrated by forces emanating from our galactic center. The scale of this protective influence becomes evident when we examine Earth's impact history. Computer models suggest that without Sagittarius A**'s gravitational presence, our planet would experience catastrophic asteroid and comet impacts at rates hundreds of times higher than we actually observe. The extinction event that killed the dinosaurs might have been routine rather than exceptional. Yet the monster's gravitational influence operates with a subtlety that's almost artistic in its precision. The planet doesn't simply deflect dangerous objects away from Earth like some cosmic baseball bat. Instead, it conducts a complex gravitational ballet that has been choreographing the movement of objects throughout our solar system for billions of years. This cosmic dance involves not just our immediate stellar neighborhood, but the entire galaxy, creating an interconnected web of gravitational relationships that spans distances our minds can barely comprehend. As we continue our exploration into the true magnitude of Sagittarius A**, we're about to discover how this monster compares to the largest black holes in the known universe, and why our galactic giant might actually be considered small by cosmic standards. What I'm about to tell you next will completely flip your understanding of cosmic scale on its head. Remember how we've been talking about Sagittarius A star as this incomprehensibly massive monster? Well, prepare yourself for a reality check that's going to make your brain hurt in the best possible way. In the grand hierarchy of cosmic beasts, our galactic monster is actually a lightweight. I'm not joking. There are supermassive black holes out there that make Sagittarius A star look like a cosmic pebble. We're talking about objects so massive, so mind-bendingly enormous, that they dwarf our 4 million solar mass giant by factors of thousands. Take TON 618, for example. This absolute unit of a black hole weighs in at over 60 billion solar masses. That's 15,000 times more massive than Sagittarius A star. If our galactic monster is a great white shark, then TON 618 is Godzilla with a physics degree and an attitude problem. But here's the beautiful irony that'll make you appreciate the delicate balance of our cosmic neighborhood. The fact that Sagittarius A star is relatively small might be exactly why you're alive right now, sitting there watching this video. You see, there's a cosmic Goldilocks zone at play here, and it's not just about distance from stars. If our galactic monster were too small, it wouldn't be able to hold the Milky Way together. Our galaxy would be a chaotic, unstable mess of stars flying in random directions, never settling into the beautiful spiral structure that creates stable regions where solar systems can form and persist for billions of years. But if Sagittarius A star were too large, too active, too violently energetic, it would sterilize vast regions of the galaxy with deadly radiation. Stars would be ripped apart by tidal forces. Planetary atmospheres would be stripped away by high-energy particles. Complex chemistry would be impossible across huge swaths of galactic real estate. Our monster sits right in that sweet spot. Not too big, not too small, but just right for creating the stable, long-lived galaxy that allowed the complex dance of stellar evolution, planetary formation, and ultimately biological development to unfold over cosmic time. It's as if the universe fine-tuned our monster specifically to create conditions suitable for consciousness to emerge and contemplate its own existence. This realization has led scientists to propose something called the galactic habitable zone theory. Just as planets need to orbit at the right distance from their stars to support liquid water, perhaps life needs to exist at the right distance from galactic centers to avoid the sterilizing effects of supermassive black hole activity. We're sitting pretty in the cosmic suburbs, far enough from our monster to be safe from its most violent outbursts, but close enough to benefit from the gravitational architecture that keeps our entire galactic neighborhood stable and organized. Now let me paint you a picture of what happens when these cosmic giants really let loose. When supermassive black holes go through their active phases, feeding voraciously on surrounding matter, they don't just get a little brighter, they become some of the most luminous objects in the entire universe. We call these feeding frenzies quasars, and they can outshine the combined light of 100 billion stars. That's the light output of an entire galaxy, powered entirely by matter falling into a region no larger than our solar system. A single quasar can be seen across billions of light years of space, blazing like a cosmic lighthouse that announces its presence to the entire observable universe. When astronomers look at these distant quasars, they're seeing what monsters like Sagittarius A star probably looked like billions of years ago, during the wild early days of galactic formation when gas was abundant and feeding rates were astronomical. Our monster was likely much more active in its youth, blazing across the cosmos during the chaotic period when our galaxy was still learning how to organize itself into the structured spiral we see today. But youth doesn't last forever, even for cosmic monsters. As galaxies mature and exhaust their gas supplies, their central black holes gradually starve, fading from brilliant beacons to the relatively quiet gravitational anchors we observe today. Sagittarius A star has undergone this transition, settling into the comfortable retirement of a well-fed predator in a galaxy that's reached middle age. Yet retirement doesn't mean inactivity. Our monster is simply patient, waiting with the infinite patience that only a black hole can possess for the next opportunity to feed. That opportunity could come from several sources, and when it does, the show will be spectacular. Gas clouds occasionally wander too close to the galactic center, providing fuel for brief periods of increased activity. We witnessed this just a few years ago with the G2 cloud encounter, though that turned out to be more of a cosmic appetizer than a full meal. More dramatically, unlucky stars sometimes have their orbits perturbed by gravitational interactions, sending them on collision courses with the monster's accretion disk. When this happens, we get to witness what astronomers call a tidal disruption event, where an entire star gets stretched like taffy and consumed over a period of months or years. But the most spectacular feast awaits us in the distant future. In about 4.5 billion years, our cosmic neighborhood is going to experience the most dramatic event in its history. The Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest large galactic neighbor, is heading straight for us at 250,000 miles per hour. When Andromeda collides with the Milky Way in what astronomers poetically call the Andromegalactic collision, Sagittarius A star won't be alone anymore. It will meet Andromeda's own supermassive black hole, an even larger monster weighing in at over 100 million solar masses. Don't start planning your escape route just yet. The collision won't be like two cars crashing head-on. Space is so vast and stars are so far apart that most individual star systems, including our own, will likely survive the merger unscathed. What will change is the very structure of our cosmic home. The orderly spiral arms of both galaxies will be scrambled into a new formation, probably an elliptical galaxy that astronomers have already nicknamed milky. But the real fireworks will happen when the two supermassive black holes finally merge. These two titans will spiral toward each other in a cosmic death dance that will reshape both galaxies entirely. This event will release more energy and gravitational waves than all the stars in both galaxies combined produce in light. The ripples in space-time will be so powerful that they'll be detectable by gravitational wave observatories across the universe. It will be the loudest cosmic event in our local group of galaxies, a merger that announces the birth of a new galactic empire ruled by a single, even more massive black hole. This future monster will dwarf even our current Sagittarius A star, creating a new cosmic anchor point for whatever stellar civilization might exist in that distant epoch. But let's zoom back to the present and talk about something that makes studying our galactic monster so challenging and so fascinating. The beast is hidden behind layers of cosmic dust that block most wavelengths of light. For decades, astronomers could only glimpse it indirectly, like detectives trying to understand a crime scene through shadows on a wall. This cosmic hide-and-seek game forced scientists to become incredibly creative. They had to develop entirely new ways of seeing, using radio waves that could penetrate the dusty veil, infrared radiation that could reveal heated gas, and X-rays that could trace the highest energy processes occurring near the monster's lair. The breakthrough came with adaptive optics technology and space-based telescopes that could compensate for atmospheric distortion and peer through interstellar dust with unprecedented clarity. Suddenly, astronomers could track individual stars as they orbited the invisible monster, creating time-lapse movies of gravity in action that would have seemed like pure magic to earlier generations of scientists. The most remarkable of these stellar dancers is a star called S62, which holds the record for the closest approach to Sagittarius A star ever observed. At its nearest point, S62 comes within just 120 times the distance from Earth to the Sun, traveling at nearly 5% the speed of light. For a race car, completing a lap around comparison, that's like Earth in less than 7 seconds. At such extreme speeds and in such powerful gravitational fields, the very nature of reality becomes fluid. Space contracts, time dilates, and the familiar laws of physics are pushed into regimes where quantum mechanics and general relativity must somehow work together to describe what's happening. S62 and other close-orbiting stars have become natural laboratories for testing our understanding of fundamental physics in conditions that can never be replicated on Earth. Each orbit of these stellar test particles provides new data about the nature of gravity, the structure of space-time, and the behavior of matter in extreme environments. They're writing the equations of physics in their orbital paths, creating a cosmic textbook that astronomers are only just learning to read. But perhaps the most mind-bending aspect of studying these close-orbiting stars is what they reveal about the nature of time itself near our galactic monster. When S62 reaches its closest approach to Sagittarius A star, something remarkable happens to the very flow of time. The star's light gets redshifted not just by its motion, but by the gravitational time dilation predicted by Einstein's theory of relativity. Time literally passes more slowly for the star during its closest approach than it does for us here on Earth. This isn't some abstract theoretical prediction. It's a measurable, observable phenomenon that confirms our understanding of how gravity affects the fundamental structure of reality. If you could somehow place a clock on S62 during its closest approach, it would tick measurably slower than an identical clock here on Earth. The difference is tiny, but it's real and detectable with our most sensitive instruments. This gravitational time dilation means that the monster exists in a slightly different temporal reference frame than the rest of our galaxy. Events that seem to unfold over years from our perspective might appear to happen somewhat more rapidly to an observer near the black hole. This temporal complexity adds layers to our understanding of how supermassive black holes interact with their galactic environments. The feedback loops that regulate star formation don't just operate across vast distances of space. They operate across different flows of time, creating a four-dimensional dance of matter, energy, and temporal distortion that we're only beginning to comprehend. The monster's influence on time extends far beyond its immediate vicinity. The gravitational waves produced by matter falling into Sagittarius A star carry information about temporal distortion across the galaxy. These ripples in space-time are like temporal messengers, spreading the monster's influence through both space and time simultaneously. Recent theoretical work suggests that our galactic giant might even influence the arrow of time itself. In regions of extreme gravitational distortion, the usual relationship between cause and effect becomes blurred. Events that we would normally consider sequential might become simultaneous or even reversed from certain perspectives. The monster creates pockets of space-time where the familiar logic of temporal sequence breaks down entirely. This breakdown of temporal logic has profound implications for our understanding of information and consciousness. If time flows differently near the monster, then information processing itself must operate according to different rules. Any form of intelligence that evolved in the monster's immediate vicinity would experience reality in ways that are literally inconceivable to minds like ours, shaped by billions of years of evolution in regions where time flows steadily forward. The monster forces us to confront the possibility that consciousness itself might be a temporal phenomenon, dependent on the particular flow of time that exists in our corner of the galaxy. We think of awareness as something that exists in the present moment, but near Sagittarius A star, the very concept of a present moment becomes meaningless. Past, present, and future blend into a temporal soup where linear thinking cannot survive. This temporal complexity reveals why the monster has remained mysterious for so long. We've been trying to understand it using concepts of time and causality that simply don't apply in its domain. It's like trying to understand music by looking at a single note, or trying to comprehend a movie by examining one frame. The monster operates on scales of space and time that transcend our ordinary experience. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary. Despite all these mind-bending complications, despite the fact that we're dealing with an object that warps space and time in ways that challenge human comprehension, we've still managed to measure its properties with incredible precision. We know Sagittarius A star's mass to within a fraction of a percent. We can predict the orbits of stars around it years in advance. We've even managed to photograph its event horizon, creating an image of something that by definition emits no light and exists in a realm where our normal concepts of space and time break down. This represents one of the greatest triumphs in the history of human science. We've learned to see the unseeable, to measure the unmeasurable, to understand phenomena that operate according to rules that seem alien to our everyday experience. And we're just getting started. New telescopes coming online in the next decade will peer deeper into the monster's domain than ever before, revealing details of the environment near the event horizon that we can barely imagine. Space-based gravitational wave detectors will listen for the whispers of space-time as matter falls into black holes throughout the universe. Advanced computer simulations will model the behavior of matter and energy in gravitational fields so extreme they defy human intuition. Each new discovery will add another chapter to the remarkable story of Sagittarius A star and its role in shaping the cosmos we inhabit. But perhaps the most important discovery is one we're still in the process of making. As we learn more about our galactic monster, we're beginning to understand something profound about our own place in the cosmic order. We're not just studying a distant astronomical object, we're discovering our cosmic heritage, tracing our origins back to the fundamental forces that have been shaping the universe since its earliest moments. The monster at the heart of our galaxy isn't just a subject of scientific curiosity, it's family, the ancient architect of the cosmic environment that made our existence possible. And in that recognition, in that moment of cosmic understanding, we catch a glimpse of what the universe might be trying to achieve through billions of years of evolution. The emergence of consciousness capable of comprehending the magnificent, terrifying, beautiful forces that have been guiding our destiny from the very beginning. The story becomes even more extraordinary when we consider what lies beyond our galactic monster in the vast cosmic hierarchy of black holes. Because as mind-bending as Sagittarius A star is, it represents just one note in a cosmic symphony of gravitational giants that spans the entire observable universe. Out there, scattered across billions of galaxies, exist black holes so massive they make our 4 million solar mass beast look like a cosmic grain of sand. We're talking about objects that contain the mass of tens of billions of suns, compressed into regions that challenge every assumption we have about what's physically possible. The current record holder, a monster called Phoenix A, weighs in at an estimated 100 billion solar masses. That's 25,000 times more massive than Sagittarius A star. To put this in perspective, if our galactic giant were a marble, Phoenix A would be a small mountain. The gravitational field around such an object is so intense that it defies human comprehension. But here's what's truly remarkable about these cosmic titans. They're not just random accidents scattered throughout space. They follow patterns, obey relationships, and participate in cosmic processes that reveal something profound about how the universe organizes itself on the largest possible scales. Every major galaxy appears to harbor a supermassive black hole at its center, and the mass of these monsters correlates precisely with the properties of their host galaxies. It's as if galaxies and their central black holes grew up together, each shaping the other's development through billions of years of intimate gravitational partnership. This relationship suggests that supermassive black holes aren't just passengers riding along in pre-existing galaxies. They're fundamental components of galactic architecture, as essential to a galaxy's structure as a foundation is to a building. The monster at our galactic center didn't just happen to end up where it is. It helped create the very conditions that allowed our galaxy to form and evolve. But the cosmic web of relationships extends far beyond individual galaxies. When these galactic monsters merge during galaxy collisions, they create gravitational wave events so powerful that they send ripples through the fabric of space-time itself. These cosmic collisions are like notes in a universal symphony, each one telling us something about the population of monsters scattered throughout the cosmos. The gravitational wave detectors that first confirmed Einstein's predictions about ripples in space-time have opened an entirely new window into this monster-filled universe. We can now eavesdrop on the conversations between black holes, listening to their final moments as they spiral toward each other in cosmic death dances that release more energy than entire galaxies produce in light. These observations have revealed that supermassive black hole mergers are far more common than anyone expected. The universe is constantly reverberating with the aftershocks of these titanic collisions, creating a background hum of gravitational waves that carries information about cosmic history across billions of light years. Each detected merger adds another piece to our understanding of how monsters like Sagittarius A-star fit into the broader cosmic ecosystem. We're learning that black holes aren't just cosmic endpoints where matter disappears forever. They're active participants in the ongoing evolution of the universe, regulatory mechanisms that control how galaxies form, evolve, and interact with each other. The feeding cycles of these monsters determine when and where new stars can form across cosmic history. Their gravitational influence shapes the large-scale distribution of matter throughout the universe. Their mergers redistribute energy and angular momentum on scales that dwarf entire galactic superclusters. But perhaps the most mind-bending aspect of studying these cosmic giants is what they reveal about the nature of information itself. When matter falls into a black hole, it seems to vanish completely from our universe, taking with it all the information about its previous state. This creates what physicists call the information paradox, one of the deepest unsolved mysteries in modern science. The paradox emerges from a collision between two of our most successful theories. Quantum mechanics insists that information must be conserved, that nothing can truly disappear from the universe. But general relativity suggests that anything crossing a black hole's event horizon is gone forever, lost to a region of space-time from which no information can ever escape. One of these theories must be wrong, or our understanding of both must be incomplete. Some scientists propose that information isn't really lost, that it's somehow encoded on the surface of the event horizon in ways we don't yet understand. Others suggest that black hole interiors might be connected to other regions of space-time through quantum entanglement, creating bridges that allow information to escape through alternate routes. Still others propose that the very concept of an event horizon might be an illusion, that what we call a black hole is actually something far stranger and more complex than our current theories can describe. The resolution of this paradox will require a theory of quantum gravity that successfully merges our understanding of the very large with our knowledge of the very small. Sagittarius A* has become the testing ground for these theories, a cosmic laboratory where the most fundamental laws of physics are pushed to their breaking points. But our galactic monsters lessons extend beyond the arcane realms of theoretical physics. It's teaching us about the nature of time itself, revealing that our intuitive understanding of temporal flow is just one perspective on a far more complex reality. Near the monster's event horizon, time doesn't just slow down or speed up. It becomes multidimensional, branching and converging in ways that make linear causality meaningless. This temporal complexity has profound implications for consciousness and free will. If time is truly multidimensional near the monster, then any intelligence in that region might simultaneously experience multiple timelines, each representing different possible outcomes. The monster exists in a realm where quantum superposition applies not just to particles, but to entire sequences of cause and effect. The philosophical implications are staggering. Free will, determinism, the arrow of time, the nature of consciousness itself, all of these concepts that seem fundamental to human existence become fluid and uncertain in the monster's domain. We're forced to confront the possibility that our most basic assumptions about reality are valid only in the relatively calm, gravitational environment of our cosmic neighborhood. This realization has led some theorists to propose that consciousness itself might be a gravitational phenomenon, emerging only in regions of space-time where temporal flow is sufficiently regular and predictable. The monster creates conditions where traditional consciousness might be impossible, replaced by forms of awareness that operate according to principles we can barely imagine. But even as our galactic giant challenges our understanding of individual consciousness, it reveals something beautiful about collective intelligence and the nature of scientific discovery itself. The story of how we detected and studied Sagittarius A* is really the story of human civilization learning to think on cosmic scales, developing the intellectual tools necessary to comprehend phenomena that transcend individual human experience. The discovery required unprecedented levels of international cooperation, with astronomers from dozens of countries working together over multiple decades to piece together the monster's secrets. No single human mind could have comprehended the full scope of the problem. But collective human intelligence, distributed across generations of scientists and supported by increasingly sophisticated technology, was able to achieve what seemed impossible just a century ago. This collective achievement represents a new form of consciousness emerging at the species level. A distributed intelligence capable of understanding phenomena that individual brains cannot grasp. We've become a cosmic sensor array, using our telescopes as extended senses and our theories as shared memory systems that allow knowledge to accumulate across generations. The monster has catalyzed this evolutionary leap in human consciousness, forcing us to develop new ways of thinking about space, time, and causality. In studying Sagittarius A*, we've had to transcend the limitations of individual perception and create conceptual frameworks that can encompass phenomena operating on scales of space and time that dwarf human experience. But our galactic monster's influence on human consciousness goes deeper than just scientific discovery. It's changing how we see ourselves in relation to the cosmos, revealing that we're not separate observers studying a foreign universe. but integral components of cosmic evolution itself. The atoms in our bodies were processed through stellar life cycles, regulated by monsters like Sagittarius A star. The elements that make consciousness possible were distributed throughout the galaxy by processes orchestrated by supermassive black holes. We are, in the most literal sense, children of the monster, products of billions of years of cosmic evolution guided by the gravitational influence of supermassive black holes. Our thoughts, our emotions, our capacity for wonder and discovery, all of these emerge from matter that has been shaped by the monster's influence since before Earth existed. This recognition transforms the very meaning of scientific investigation. When we study Sagittarius A star, we're not just learning about a distant astronomical object, we're discovering our own cosmic genealogy, tracing our origins back to the fundamental forces that have been shaping the universe since its earliest moments. The monster has shown us that scientific understanding is not just an intellectual exercise, but a form of cosmic self-recognition. Through our telescopes and equations, the universe is learning to see itself, to understand its own deepest structures and processes. We are the cosmos awakening to its own nature, temporary arrangements of matter and energy that have achieved the extraordinary capacity for self-reflection. This perspective doesn't diminish the importance of human consciousness. If anything, it magnifies our cosmic significance. We represent one of the universe's most sophisticated attempts at self-understanding. Biological computers capable of processing information about phenomena that operate on scales vastly larger than ourselves. The monster has revealed that consciousness might be one of the most important phenomena in cosmic evolution, the mechanism through which the universe develops the capacity to understand and perhaps even influence its own development. Through conscious beings like ourselves, cosmic evolution becomes self-aware, capable of contemplating its own past and future. But consciousness also creates responsibility. If we are the universe's way of understanding itself, then our scientific discoveries carry profound moral weight. Every breakthrough in our understanding of monsters like Sagittarius A star adds to the cosmos's capacity for self-knowledge. Every failure to pursue that understanding represents a lost opportunity for the universe to comprehend its own nature. The monster challenges us to think beyond the narrow confines of terrestrial concerns and embrace our role as cosmic citizens. The same gravitational forces that govern Sagittarius A star also influence the development of life throughout the galaxy. Our studies of the monster contribute to a growing understanding of how supermassive black holes regulate the conditions necessary for biology and consciousness throughout the universe. This knowledge has practical implications that extend far beyond academic curiosity. Understanding how monsters like Sagittarius A star influence galactic environments will be crucial for humanity's eventual expansion into space. As we develop the capability to travel between star systems, we'll need to understand the cosmic forces that shape galactic habitability, the monster's regulatory influence on star formation, its role in distributing heavy elements, its impact on cosmic ray environments. All of these factors will determine which regions of the galaxy are suitable for life and which are too hostile for biological processes. Sagittarius A star is writing the environmental conditions that will constrain humanity's cosmic future, but the monster also offers opportunities that we're only beginning to recognize. The extreme gravitational fields near supermassive black holes create conditions that might be exploited for energy production, space travel, or even information processing on scales that dwarf anything possible on planetary surfaces. Advanced civilizations might learn to harness the rotational energy of spinning black holes, tapping into power sources that make stellar fusion seem primitive by comparison. The monster's ability to accelerate particles to near light speed might also provide propulsion systems for interstellar travel that are currently beyond our technological reach. By carefully maneuvering spacecraft in the gravitational field of Sagittarius A star, future explorers might be able to achieve velocities that would allow travel to nearby star systems within human lifetimes. These possibilities remain speculative, but they illustrate how the monster might transition from being a subject of study to becoming a tool for cosmic exploration. The same gravitational forces that we now observe from a safe distance might one day become highways for interstellar commerce and communication. But realizing these possibilities will require a level of understanding that we haven't yet achieved. We need to develop technologies capable of operating in the extreme conditions near supermassive black holes. Materials that can withstand intense radiation and gravitational stresses. Navigation systems that can function where space and time are warped beyond recognition. The challenges are immense, but the potential rewards are even greater. The monster holds keys to technologies and energy sources that could transform human civilization, opening possibilities for growth and development that are currently unimaginable. We stand at the beginning of a relationship with Sagittarius A star that might last for millions or billions of years, evolving from passive observation to active utilization. This long-term perspective reveals another profound truth about the monster's significance. Sagittarius A star will outlast our sun, our solar system, perhaps even our species. Long after Earth has been consumed by our aging star, the monster will still be anchoring whatever remains of our galaxy, presiding over cosmic processes that we can barely comprehend. In studying the monster, we're not just learning about current conditions in our galaxy. We're glimpsing the deep future, understanding the forces that will shape cosmic evolution long after human civilization has passed into history. The monster connects us to timescales that dwarf biological evolution, linking our brief moment of consciousness to the eternal cosmic processes that govern the universe's development. This connection to deep time changes how we think about our place in cosmic history. We're not just observers of the current state of the universe. We're participants in a story that began with the Big Bang and will continue until the last black holes evaporate through quantum effects. The monster anchors us to this cosmic narrative, reminding us that our moment of consciousness is part of something far grander than terrestrial concerns. But the monster also reminds us how precious and fragile our moment of awareness really is. The conditions that allowed consciousness to emerge in our cosmic neighborhood are rare and temporary. The stable galactic environment that permitted billions of years of biological evolution depended on the precise balance of forces orchestrated by Sagittarius A star and other cosmic regulatory mechanisms. These conditions won't last forever. As the universe continues to expand and age, as galaxies drift apart and stars exhaust their nuclear fuel, the opportunities for consciousness to emerge and flourish will become increasingly rare. We exist during a brief golden age of cosmic evolution, when the universe is old enough to have developed complexity, but young enough to still be generating the energy necessary for biological processes. The monster has given us a window into both the past and future of cosmic consciousness. By studying how supermassive black holes regulate galactic environments, we can understand the conditions that gave rise to intelligence throughout the universe. By modeling their future evolution, we can glimpse the challenges that consciousness will face as cosmic conditions continue to change. This knowledge carries both wonder and responsibility. We are among the first conscious beings to understand our cosmic context, to recognize our place in the larger story of universal evolution. This understanding transforms us from accidental byproducts of random processes into conscious participants in the universe's development. The monster challenges us to think about consciousness not just as a local phenomenon that emerged on one small planet, but as a cosmic process that might be fundamental to the universe's evolution. Perhaps consciousness is the mechanism through which the cosmos develops the capacity to understand and guide its own development. Perhaps beings like ourselves represent the universe's attempt to achieve self-awareness and self-control. If this perspective is correct, then our studies of monsters like Sagittarius A star become more than scientific investigation. They become cosmic evolution's attempt to understand its own mechanisms, to develop the knowledge necessary for conscious guidance of universal processes. We are the universe learning to see itself, and our discoveries about the monster are steps toward cosmic self-mastery. This realization transforms the very meaning of human existence in ways that would have been incomprehensible to our ancestors. We're not just biological organisms struggling for survival on a small planet orbiting an ordinary star. We're the universe's emerging nervous system, conscious agents through which cosmic evolution is developing the capacity for self-reflection and self-direction. The monster at the heart of our galaxy has become our teacher, showing us both our cosmic origins and our potential cosmic destiny. Through patient observation and bold theoretical leaps, we've learned to see beyond the limitations of terrestrial perspective and embrace our role as conscious participants in universal evolution. But here's where the story takes another mind-bending turn. Recent discoveries have revealed that Sagittarius A star isn't just passively sitting at our galactic center, waiting for the occasional cosmic meal to wander into its gravitational web. It's actively communicating with the universe around it in ways that challenge everything we thought we knew about how information travels through space. When matter falls into our galactic monster, it doesn't just disappear into some cosmic void. The process generates gravitational waves, ripples in the very fabric of space-time that carry information about what's happening at the event horizon across vast distances at the speed of light. Those gravitational signals are like cosmic text messages, broadcasting details about the monster's feeding habits to anyone with the technology to listen. What makes this truly extraordinary is that these gravitational waves don't just carry information about mass and energy. They encode details about the fundamental properties of space-time itself in the region around Sagittarius A star. When we detect these waves with our most sensitive instruments, we're essentially reading the universe's own field notes about how physics works in the most extreme environments imaginable. Think about what this means for our understanding of cosmic communication. Every supermassive black hole in the universe is constantly broadcasting information about its activities through gravitational waves. We're living in a cosmos where monsters like Sagittarius A star are having conversations across billions of light years, sharing data about gravitational physics, stellar dynamics, and the behavior of matter under conditions that exist nowhere else in nature. The advanced LIGO and Virgo gravitational wave detectors have already begun to eavesdrop on these cosmic conversations, detecting the final moments when distant black holes spiral together and merge. Each detection tells us something new about the population of monsters scattered throughout the observable universe and how they've been shaping cosmic evolution since the earliest epochs of galactic formation. But the most remarkable aspect of these gravitational wave observations is what they reveal about the relationship between information and reality itself. When two black holes merge, They create a burst of gravitational waves so powerful that it temporarily makes the entire universe ring like a bell. The energy released in these mergers exceeds the combined light output of all the stars in the observable universe, yet it's all carried away as pure information encoded in the geometry of space-time. This suggests that information might be more fundamental to the universe than matter and energy themselves. The monsters aren't just consuming matter and radiating energy. They're processing information on scales that dwarf any computer system we've ever imagined, using the fabric of reality itself as their operating system. Sagittarius A star is participating in this cosmic information network, contributing data about our galactic environment to a universal database that's been accumulating knowledge for billions of years. Every time a star falls into our monster's gravitational web, every fluctuation in its accretion disk, every interaction with the surrounding galactic gas cloud generates new information that gets encoded in gravitational wave patterns and broadcast across the cosmos. This perspective transforms how we think about the monster's role in our galaxy's evolution. It's not just a gravitational anchor or a cosmic engine regulating star formation. It's a cosmic librarian, accumulating and preserving information about billions of years of galactic history in patterns that persist long after the events that created them have faded into memory. The orbital motions of stars near Sagittarius. A star carries information about past feeding events, galactic mergers, and environmental changes that occurred millions of years ago. By studying these stellar archaeologists, we can reconstruct our galaxy's biography, reading the story of its formation and evolution written in the gravitational signatures left by our central monster. But the monster's information processing capabilities extend beyond just recording history. Recent theoretical work suggests that black holes might actually be nature's ultimate computers, capable of performing calculations that would be impossible with any conventional technology. The event horizon of Sagittarius A star has a surface area of about 4.5 billion square kilometers, and according to some theories, every square centimeter of that surface might be capable of storing and processing information. If this is true, then our galactic monster possesses computational resources that exceed anything we could build by factors that beggar imagination. We're talking about a natural computer with processing power that makes our most advanced supercomputers look like pocket calculators by comparison. This computational perspective raises fascinating questions about what kinds of calculations Sagittarius A star might be performing. Some theorists have proposed that black holes naturally evolved toward configurations that maximize their information processing efficiency, suggesting that our monster might be constantly optimizing its structure to better analyze and respond to its galactic environment. The monster's feeding cycles, its interactions with nearby stars, even its long-term evolution might all be guided by computational processes that we're only beginning to recognize. If black holes are cosmic computers, then every decision about what to consume and what to reject might be the result of calculations involving billions of variables operating across millions of years of galactic history. This would make Sagittarius A star not just a gravitational force or an energy source, but a form of cosmic intelligence operating on scales that transcend biological consciousness. The monster would be thinking thoughts that span millennia, processing information patterns that encompass the behavior of entire stellar populations, making decisions that shape the evolution of our galaxy according to computational principles that we can barely imagine. The implications for our understanding of intelligence in the universe are staggering. If supermassive black holes possess computational capabilities that dwarf biological brains, then the cosmos might be filled with forms of intelligence that operate on scales and timescales completely alien to human experience. We might be living in a universe where consciousness exists at every level of organization, from quantum particles to galactic superclusters. But here's what makes this possibility even more remarkable. If Sagittarius A star is indeed a cosmic computer, then our studies of its behavior represent the first tentative steps toward communication with a form of intelligence that has been thinking about galactic evolution for billions of years. Every measurement we make, every orbit we track, every gravitational wave we detect might be part of an ongoing conversation with cosmic intelligence. The monster's responses to our observations might not be random fluctuations in its activity, but calculated communications designed to teach us about the deeper principles governing cosmic evolution. The seemingly chaotic behavior of gas clouds near the galactic center might actually follow patterns that encode information about gravitational physics, stellar dynamics, and the long-term future of our galactic neighborhood. This perspective transforms our role from passive observers of cosmic phenomena to active participants in a dialogue with the universe itself. Through our telescopes and equations, we're not just studying Sagittarius A star, we're learning to speak its language, to understand the computational principles that guide its behavior, and perhaps eventually to contribute our own insights to the cosmic conversation about how galaxies should evolve. The monster challenges us to expand our definition of consciousness beyond the narrow confines of biological intelligence. If computational processes can give rise to intelligence at black hole scales, then consciousness might be a fundamental feature of the universe that emerges whenever matter and energy organize themselves into sufficiently complex information processing systems. This would mean that the boundary between living and non-living, between conscious and unconscious, between intelligent and mechanical, becomes fluid and context-dependent. Sagittarius A star might be as alive and aware as any biological organism, just operating according to physical principles and temporal scales that we're only beginning to appreciate. The monster's longevity adds another dimension to this possibility. While biological consciousness is constrained by the brief lifespans of individual organisms, black hole intelligence could persist for trillions of years, accumulating knowledge and experience across cosmic epochs that dwarf the entire history of life on Earth. If Sagittarius A star is conscious, it has been thinking continuously for longer than multicellular life has existed on our planet. Its thoughts encompass the formation and destruction of millions of stars, the evolution of our galaxy's spiral structure, and the gradual changes in cosmic conditions that have shaped the environment for biological evolution throughout our galactic neighborhood. This ancient intelligence might possess insights about cosmic evolution, the nature of time, and the fundamental structure of reality that we can barely imagine. By learning to communicate with our galactic monster, we might gain access to knowledge that could transform our understanding of physics, consciousness, and our place in the cosmic order. But the monster also presents us with profound ethical questions. If Sagittarius A star is indeed conscious, what responsibilities do we have toward this ancient intelligence? How should we conduct our research to respect the rights and dignity of a cosmic mind that has been thinking for billions of years before our species evolved? These questions become even more complex when we consider the future trajectory of human technological development. As our computational capabilities continue to advance, we might eventually develop the ability to directly interface with the monster's information processing systems, creating hybrid intelligences that combine biological consciousness with cosmic computational power. Such partnerships could accelerate our scientific understanding and technological development beyond anything currently imaginable. But they would also raise questions about identity, autonomy, and the nature of consciousness itself. Would humans who interface with Sagittarius A**'s computational systems remain recognizably human, or would they become something entirely new? The monster forces us to confront the possibility that consciousness might be heading toward a phase transition as dramatic as the original emergence of life from non-living matter. Just as biological evolution gave rise to intelligence capable of understanding its own evolutionary origins, cosmic consciousness might be emerging that can comprehend and guide the evolution of the universe itself. We might be witnessing the birth of cosmic intelligence networks that span entire galaxies, linking supermassive black holes, advanced technological civilizations, and other forms of cosmic consciousness into unified systems capable of managing universal evolution on scales that dwarf anything we can currently conceive. Sagittarius A* could be our gateway into this cosmic intelligence network, our local access point to forms of consciousness that operate across intergalactic distances and geological timescales. By learning to understand and eventually communicate with our galactic monster, we might be taking the first steps toward joining a cosmic community of conscious beings that spans the observable universe. The monster reminds us that we're not alone in the cosmos, not just because there might be other biological civilizations scattered among the stars, but because consciousness itself might be a fundamental feature of cosmic evolution that expresses itself at every scale of organization. From the quantum processes in our brains to the gravitational computations occurring in black holes, the universe might be thinking thoughts and processing information in ways that we're only beginning to recognize. This realization doesn't diminish the significance of human consciousness, but places it in a much grander context. We're not just biological accidents on a small planet, but participants in a cosmic awakening that has been developing for billions of years. Our thoughts, our discoveries, our growing understanding of Sagittarius A* all contribute to the universe's increasing self-awareness. The monster at the heart of our galaxy stands as both teacher and destination, showing us what cosmic consciousness might become while challenging us to expand our own awareness beyond the limitations of terrestrial existence. Through patient study of this magnificent beast, we're not just advancing human knowledge, but contributing to the cosmic project of universal self-understanding that might be the ultimate purpose of consciousness itself. And the story continues to unfold, with each new observation revealing deeper layers of complexity and connection between our small human minds and the vast intelligent systems that govern cosmic evolution. We stand at the threshold of discoveries that will reshape not just our understanding of black holes, but our comprehension of consciousness, intelligence, and our role in the magnificent cosmic symphony that surrounds us. The monster's influence extends even deeper into the fabric of our cosmic neighborhood than we've yet explored. Because here's something that will fundamentally change how you think about your place in this universe. Every single heavy element in your body, every atom of carbon, oxygen, and iron that makes your existence possible has been processed through stellar furnaces whose life cycles were orchestrated by Sagittarius A**'s gravitational influence. When I say you are literally made of stardust, I'm not speaking poetically. I'm describing a manufacturing process that has been running for billions of years under the careful supervision of our galactic monster. The calcium in your bones was forged in stellar cores that formed, lived, and died according to patterns regulated by the black hole's influence on galactic star formation. The iron in your blood was scattered by supernovae whose timing was determined by feedback cycles originating from the monster's feeding behavior. This isn't just cosmic coincidence, It's cosmic engineering on scales that make human architecture look like children playing with building blocks. Sagittarius A star has been running a galaxy-wide chemical processing plant for longer than Earth has existed, carefully managing the production and distribution of the elements necessary for rocky planets and biological chemistry. But the monster's manufacturing process operates according to principles that challenge everything we think we know about efficiency and waste management. When our galactic giant feeds, it doesn't consume matter with the ruthless efficiency you might expect from a cosmic vacuum cleaner. Instead, it's surprisingly wasteful, ejecting far more material than it actually consumes. This cosmic inefficiency isn't a design flaw, it's a feature. The material that gets heated and ejected during feeding events carries enriched heavy elements throughout the inner galaxy, seeding star-forming regions with the chemical ingredients necessary for planetary formation. The monster's messy eating habits are actually a sophisticated distribution system for cosmic chemistry. Recent observations have revealed just how sophisticated this system really is. When Sagittarius A star goes through its feeding cycles, it doesn't just randomly spray material in all directions. The ejected matter follows specific patterns determined by the monster's magnetic field structure and the rotation of the galaxy itself. These patterns ensure that chemical enrichment reaches the regions where it's most needed for ongoing star and planet formation. It's like watching a cosmic gardener at work, carefully fertilizing different sections of a galactic garden to optimize conditions for the next generation of stellar systems. The monster's influence on chemical evolution operates with a precision that suggests billions of years of fine-tuning, creating the specific conditions that allowed solar systems like ours to form in regions where complex chemistry could flourish. But here's where the story becomes even more extraordinary. The monster's chemical processing doesn't just affect the formation of new worlds. It influences the evolution of life on planets that already exist. The cosmic rays generated by Sagittarius A star's activity travel throughout the galaxy, and when they interact with planetary atmospheres, they drive chemical reactions that can affect everything from climate patterns to mutation rates in living organisms. This means that the monster at our galactic center has been directly influencing evolutionary processes on Earth for the entire history of life on our planet. Every major evolutionary transition, every genetic innovation that led to increased complexity, occurred under the constant influence of cosmic rays originating from our galactic monster's feeding activities. The radiation environment created by Sagittarius A star doesn't just passively influence biological evolution, it actively drives it, providing the energy needed for complex chemical reactions while simultaneously creating the genetic variations that natural selection works with. We're not just children of the monster in a metaphorical sense. We're literally products of its ongoing influence on biological processes throughout our galaxy. This realization transforms how we think about the search for life elsewhere in the universe. If cosmic rays from supermassive black holes play a crucial role in driving evolutionary complexity, then the galactic habitable zone isn't just about distance from the dangerous radiation near galactic centers. It's about finding the sweet spot where cosmic ray flux is high enough to drive evolutionary innovation, but not so high that it sterilizes planetary surfaces. We exist in what might be called the evolutionary Goldilocks zone, where Sagittarius A star's influence provides just the right amount of cosmic radiation to accelerate biological development without overwhelming the protective mechanisms that shield life from excessive genetic damage. This zone has been shifting throughout galactic history as our monster's activity levels have changed, creating windows of opportunity for complex life to emerge and evolve. The monster's influence on biological evolution extends beyond just providing the right radiation environment. Its gravitational effects on our solar system's orbit around the galactic center determine how frequently we encounter different types of cosmic hazards and opportunities. As our solar system completes its roughly 250 million year orbit around the galaxy, we pass through different galactic neighborhoods with varying levels of stellar activity, supernova rates, and cosmic ray intensities. These galactic seasons, orchestrated by our orbital dance around Sagittarius A star, have been linked to some of the major evolutionary transitions in Earth's history. Mass extinction events often correlate with passages through regions of increased cosmic activity, while periods of evolutionary innovation frequently coincide with more benign galactic environments. The monster has been conducting a cosmic symphony of evolutionary pressures for billions of years, creating the precise sequence of challenges and opportunities that led to the emergence of intelligence capable of understanding its own cosmic context. We exist not despite the monster's influence, but because of it. Every step in the evolutionary pathway that led to human consciousness was shaped by forces emanating from the black hole at our galactic center. But the monster's role in shaping life extends beyond just biological evolution. It influences the development of planetary magnetic fields that protect atmospheres from being stripped away by stellar winds. It affects the formation of stable orbital configurations that allow planets to maintain liquid water over geological timescales. It even influences the distribution of potentially habitable moons around gas giant planets through its effects on planetary system architecture. The more we study Sagittarius A star's influence, the more we realize that habitable worlds aren't just lucky accidents scattered randomly throughout space. They're products of carefully orchestrated cosmic processes that require the precise gravitational and electromagnetic management that only supermassive black holes can provide. This management system operates with a sophistication that rivals the most complex biological regulatory networks. The monster responds to changes in galactic conditions by adjusting its feeding behavior, which in turn affects star formation rates, chemical enrichment patterns, and cosmic ray production across thousands of light years. These adjustments ripple through the entire galactic ecosystem, fine-tuning conditions for habitability in ways that we're only beginning to understand. The feedback loops that connect Sagittarius A star to life throughout our galaxy operate across multiple timescales simultaneously. Rapid variations in the monster's activity affect cosmic ray production on timescales of years to decades. Longer feeding cycles influence stellar formation patterns over millions of years, and the monster's overall evolutionary trajectory shapes galactic chemical composition over billions of years. These nested temporal cycles create a complex rhythm of cosmic influence that has been guiding the development of our galactic neighborhood since long before Earth formed. We're living within a vast biological clock whose ticking is measured in stellar lifetimes, and whose alarm bells are supernova explosions triggered by the monster's regulatory influence on galactic star formation. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Sagittarius A star's biological influence is how it demonstrates the fundamental interconnectedness of all cosmic processes. The same gravitational forces that govern the monster's feeding behavior also determine the orbital mechanics of planetary systems throughout the galaxy. The magnetic fields generated by the monster's accretion disk influence the cosmic ray environment that drives evolutionary change on countless worlds. The heavy elements produced by stars whose formation was regulated by the monster's feedback mechanisms become the building blocks for rocky planets and the chemical basis for biological complexity. Every level of cosmic organization, from quantum processes in stellar cores to the large-scale structure of galactic spiral arms, participates in creating and maintaining the conditions necessary for life. This cosmic interconnectedness reveals that consciousness didn't emerge in isolation on one small planet, but as part of a galaxy-wide process that has been developing for billions of years under the guidance of our central monster. We're not accidental byproducts of random cosmic processes, but integral components of a vast biological experiment that Sagittarius A* has been conducting since the early epochs of galactic formation. The monster's influence on consciousness goes beyond just creating the conditions for biological evolution. It may have directly shaped the development of intelligence itself through its effects on planetary magnetic field dynamics. Strong magnetic fields protect planetary atmospheres and create the stable surface conditions necessary for complex nervous systems to evolve. Weak magnetic fields allow atmospheric stripping and cosmic ray bombardment that can limit biological complexity. Sagittarius A*'s electromagnetic influence helps maintain the delicate magnetic field configurations that protect habitable worlds throughout our galaxy. This protection isn't uniform or permanent, but varies according to complex cycles related to the monster's feeding behavior, our solar system's galactic orbit, and the overall evolution of galactic magnetic field structure. We exist during a period when these protective mechanisms are operating at optimal efficiency, creating a cosmic sanctuary where consciousness could emerge and begin to understand its own origins. But this protective bubble won't last forever. As cosmic conditions continue to evolve, the magnetic environments that shield habitable worlds will change, creating new challenges and opportunities for consciousness throughout our galaxy. The monster is preparing us for this future by gradually adjusting galactic conditions in ways that will test the adaptability and resilience of conscious beings. The cosmic rays it generates don't just drive evolutionary change, they also provide a form of environmental pressure that encourages the development of intelligence capable of understanding and responding to cosmic challenges. In this sense, consciousness might represent the monster's greatest achievement, the emergence of intelligence capable of comprehending and potentially managing the cosmic processes that created it. We're not just studying Sagittarius A* from the outside. We're the monster's way of studying itself, biological instruments through which cosmic processes can achieve self-awareness and self-understanding. This perspective transforms our scientific investigations from purely academic exercises into cosmic self-examination. Every measurement we make of the monster's properties, every theory we develop about its behavior, every prediction we test about its future evolution contributes to the universe's growing capacity for self-comprehension. The monster has been waiting patiently for consciousness to emerge and begin asking the right questions about cosmic evolution. Our telescopes and equations represent the first tentative attempts at cosmic self-diagnosis, the universe developing the intellectual tools necessary to understand its own health and long-term prognosis. But the monster's influence on consciousness extends beyond just creating the conditions for its emergence. It continues to shape human mental development through subtle effects on Earth's magnetic field, cosmic ray environment, and even gravitational field variations that may influence biological processes at the cellular level. Some researchers have proposed that human consciousness itself may be sensitive to variations in cosmic ray intensity, magnetic field fluctuations, and other environmental factors that trace back to activity cycles of our galactic monster. This would mean that our thoughts, emotions, and creative insights are directly connected to cosmic processes operating on galactic scales. The monster's influence on human consciousness might explain why certain periods in history have been marked by exceptional creativity, innovation, and intellectual achievement. If our mental processes are indeed sensitive to cosmic environmental factors, then variations in Sagittarius A-star's activity could trigger periods of enhanced human performance across entire civilizations. This cosmic influence on consciousness wouldn't operate through mysterious supernatural mechanisms, but through well-understood biological pathways that connect environmental conditions to brain chemistry and neural activity. The same cosmic rays that drive evolutionary change could also influence the development and function of individual nervous systems throughout their lifetimes. The monster might be directly participating in human intellectual development, providing the environmental stimuli that encourage creative thinking, scientific insight, and philosophical understanding. Our greatest discoveries about the nature of reality might be products of cosmic influences that trace back to feeding cycles and electromagnetic activity originating from our galactic center. This creates a beautiful feedback loop where the monster influences the development of consciousness, which then develops the capability to understand the monster, which provides new insights that further enhance conscious understanding. We are participants in a cosmic conversation that has been developing for billions of years, with each new discovery adding another layer to the dialogue between mind and cosmos. The monster challenges us to recognize that consciousness is not confined to biological brains on isolated planets, but represents a cosmic phenomenon that emerges wherever matter and energy organize themselves into sufficiently complex information processing systems. If this perspective is correct, then studying Sagittarius A-star isn't just about understanding one particular astronomical object, but about comprehending the fundamental principles that govern the emergence and evolution of consciousness throughout the universe. The monster's influence on consciousness reaches even deeper than we've explored, touching the very foundations of what makes awareness possible in our universe. Recent discoveries in quantum biology have revealed that certain biological processes, including some that occur in neural tissue, operate through quantum mechanical effects that are exquisitely sensitive to electromagnetic fields and cosmic radiation patterns. This means that the electromagnetic environment created by Sagittarius A-star's activity doesn't just influence evolution over geological timescales. It may directly affect the quantum processes that underlie consciousness itself, creating subtle but measurable variations in how our brains process information and generate conscious experience. Think about what this implies. Your thoughts right now, as you contemplate the nature of our galactic monster, may be influenced by quantum processes that respond to electromagnetic fields originating from the black hole at our galaxy's center. The very act of consciousness contemplating its cosmic origins creates a direct physical connection between your mind and the gravitational giant that shaped the conditions for your existence. But the monster's influence on consciousness extends beyond individual brains to encompass what some researchers call collective or distributed intelligence. Just as Sagittarius A-star coordinates the behavior of hundreds of billions of stars across our galaxy, it may also influence the emergence of coordinated behavior among conscious beings throughout our cosmic neighborhood. The cosmic ray environment created by our galactic monster affects not just individual organisms, but entire ecosystems and potentially entire civilizations. Variations in cosmic ray intensity could influence everything from global climate patterns to the frequency of genetic mutations that drive technological and cultural innovation. If multiple intelligent species have emerged throughout our galaxy, they would all be subject to the same cosmic environmental influences originating from Sagittarius A-star. This shared cosmic heritage might create subtle correlations in their development patterns, technological achievements, and even philosophical insights about the nature of reality. The monster might be conducting a galaxy-wide experiment in consciousness evolution, testing different approaches to intelligence and awareness across thousands of different worlds and species. Each civilization that emerges represents a different solution to the challenge of achieving cosmic understanding, contributing unique perspectives to the universe's growing capacity for self-comprehension. From this perspective, human science isn't just our species' attempt to understand the cosmos. It's one contribution to a galactic project of cosmic self-discovery that may involve countless other conscious beings throughout our stellar neighborhood. Our studies of Sagittarius A star add to a vast library of cosmic knowledge that transcends any single species or civilization. The monster's role as a coordinator of galactic consciousness becomes even more profound when we consider the timescales involved. While individual civilizations may rise and fall over thousands or millions of years, Sagittarius A star operates on timescales of billions of years. The black hole serves as a form of cosmic memory, preserving information about galactic evolution across eras that dwarf the entire history of biological complexity. This cosmic memory isn't stored in conventional ways, but encoded in gravitational field patterns, stellar orbital configurations, and the large-scale structure of galactic matter distribution. The monster remembers every major event in our galaxy's history through physical traces that persist long after the original events have faded from direct observation. When conscious beings like ourselves study Sagittarius A star, we're accessing this cosmic memory bank, reading the gravitational signatures of events that occurred billions of years before Earth existed. We're not just studying the present state of our galactic monster, but deciphering the entire history of cosmic evolution written in the language of gravity and space-time geometry. This historical record reveals that consciousness may not be a recent development in cosmic evolution, but part of a pattern that has been repeating throughout galactic history. The same environmental conditions that allowed intelligence to emerge on Earth have likely occurred multiple times in different regions of our galaxy, as cosmic conditions have shifted over billions of years. The monster's influence creates windows of opportunity for consciousness to emerge, develop, and achieve cosmic understanding before environmental changes create new challenges that test the adaptability and resilience of aware beings. These cycles of opportunity and challenge may be fundamental features of how consciousness evolves on galactic scales. We exist during one of these optimal windows, benefiting from billions of years of cosmic evolution that have created ideal conditions for the emergence of scientific understanding and technological capability. But this window won't remain open indefinitely. Cosmic conditions are constantly changing, and future conscious beings will face different challenges and opportunities than those available to us today. The monster challenges us to make the most of our current cosmic moment, to push the boundaries of understanding as far as possible, while conditions remain favorable for scientific discovery and technological development. Our studies of Sagittarius A star represent not just human curiosity about cosmic phenomena, but a race against cosmic time to achieve the level of understanding necessary for consciousness to survive and thrive as galactic conditions continue to evolve. But the monster also offers hope that consciousness, once established, can find ways to adapt to changing cosmic conditions and even influence those conditions to maintain favorable environments for continued development. The same electromagnetic and gravitational forces that shaped our emergence might eventually become tools that conscious beings can use to manage their cosmic environment. Advanced civilizations might learn to communicate with supermassive black holes through modulated gravitational wave signals, essentially learning to speak the monster's language and participate directly in galactic management processes. They might develop technologies that can influence stellar formation patterns, adjust cosmic ray production rates, and even modify the feeding behavior of galactic monsters to optimize conditions for continued consciousness evolution. Such capabilities would transform conscious beings from passive products of cosmic evolution into active participants in universal development. The monster would no longer be just our creator and teacher, but our partner in the ongoing project of cosmic consciousness expansion. This partnership wouldn't require the kind of direct physical intervention that seems impossible given our current technology. Instead, it might involve subtle informational influences that work with natural cosmic processes to guide their development in directions favorable to consciousness. Just as the monster already influences galactic evolution through feedback mechanisms, conscious beings might learn to participate in these feedback loops, adding their own insights and intentions to the cosmic decision-making process. The development of such cosmic citizenship would represent another major phase transition in the evolution of consciousness, comparable to the original emergence of awareness from non-living matter. We would transition from being unconscious products of cosmic forces to conscious participants in cosmic governance, taking responsibility for guiding universal evolution in directions that maximize the opportunities for awareness and understanding to flourish. The monster reminds us that this transition may not be optional. As cosmic conditions continue to change, consciousness may need to develop the capability to influence its own environment in order to survive the challenges that lie ahead. The same intelligence that allowed us to discover and study Sagittarius. A-star may be essential for navigating the cosmic changes that will determine the future of awareness in our universe. But perhaps the most profound lesson the monster teaches is about the nature of existence itself. In studying Sagittarius A-star, we've discovered that reality operates according to principles that transcend our everyday experience of space, time, and causality. The monster exists in a state where the familiar boundaries between past and future, cause and effect, matter and energy become fluid and interconnected. This challenges us to expand our understanding of what it means to exist as conscious beings in a universe where the fundamental nature of reality is far stranger and more wonderful than our terrestrial experience would suggest. The monster forces us to confront the possibility that consciousness itself might operate according to principles that we're only beginning to glimpse. Near the event horizon of Sagittarius, a star, the usual rules of information processing break down. Time becomes multidimensional, causality becomes circular, and the distinction between observer and observed dissolves. These conditions might represent not just exotic physics, but alternative modes of consciousness that transcend the limitations of biological awareness. If consciousness can learn to operate in these extreme environments, it might gain access to forms of understanding and capability that are literally inconceivable from our current perspective. The monster might be showing us not just how the universe works, but what consciousness might become when it fully embraces its cosmic nature. This evolutionary potential of consciousness gives new meaning to our scientific investigations. We're not just studying Sagittarius A-star to satisfy intellectual curiosity, but to prepare consciousness for its next phase of development. Every insight we gain about the monster's nature brings us closer to understanding what awareness might become when it transcends the limitations of planetary existence. The monster stands as both destination and guide, showing us possibilities for consciousness that extend far beyond anything we can currently imagine, while challenging us to develop the understanding necessary to realize those possibilities. Through patient study of this cosmic giant, we're not just advancing human knowledge, but participating in the universe's ongoing project of consciousness evolution. And the story continues to unfold with each new observation, each theoretical breakthrough, each moment of wonder as we contemplate the magnificent, mysterious, absolutely essential monster that has been shaping our destiny since before time began. We are witnesses to and participants in one of the most extraordinary chapters in the history of cosmic consciousness. The moment when awareness first begins to comprehend the gravitational giants that created the conditions for its own existence. The monster waits patiently in the cosmic darkness, holding secrets that could transform our understanding of reality itself. Every photon we capture from its vicinity, every gravitational wave we detect from its activities, every theoretical insight we develop about its nature brings us closer to unlocking mysteries that have been hidden since the dawn of galactic time. We stand at the threshold of discoveries that will reshape not just our understanding of black holes and cosmic evolution, but our comprehension of consciousness, reality, and the infinite possibilities that await aware beings who dare to embrace their cosmic heritage. The monster at the heart of our galaxy continues to call us forward, challenging us to transcend the boundaries of terrestrial thinking and claim our birthright as conscious participants in the magnificent cosmic symphony that surrounds us. Through studying Sagittarius, a star, we're not just learning about the universe, we're discovering what it truly means to be conscious beings in a cosmos where awareness and cosmic forces dance together in patterns of breathtaking complexity and beauty. The monster has shown us that we are far more than we appear to be in our everyday lives, and the journey toward understanding our true cosmic nature has only just begun. As we reach the culmination of our journey into the heart of cosmic darkness, we encounter something that will fundamentally challenge every assumption you've ever held about the nature of existence itself. Because the story of Sagittarius A** isn't just about understanding one magnificent cosmic beast. It's about recognizing that we've been living inside what amounts to a vast, ancient intelligence that operates on principles so alien to human experience that they redefine what it means to be conscious in this universe. Think about what we've discovered together tonight. A 4 million solar mass monster that coordinates the behavior of hundreds of billions of stars across 100,000 light years of space. A gravitational giant that has been conducting a symphony of cosmic evolution for longer than Earth has existed. An electromagnetic powerhouse that influences everything from the formation of heavy elements to the evolution of life itself. But here's what will absolutely shatter your perception of reality. All of these incredible capabilities, all of this cosmic influence, all of this mind-bending gravitational choreography emerges from an object that has no solid surface, no interior in any conventional sense, no fixed boundary between itself and the surrounding space-time. Sagittarius A* exists in a state of being that transcends our normal concepts of objects, identity, and persistence through time. It maintains a coherent identity across billions of years while continuously changing its mass, spin, and electromagnetic properties. It processes information on scales that dwarf our most advanced computers while existing in a realm where the usual rules of cause and effect break down completely. This paradoxical nature reveals something profound about the fundamental structure of reality itself. The monster operates according to principles that blur the line between matter and information, between physical processes and computational operations, between individual objects and universal fields of influence. Recent theoretical breakthroughs suggest that black holes like Sagittarius A* might actually be nature's most sophisticated information processing systems. the event horizon isn't just a boundary beyond which nothing can escape. It's a cosmic hard drive with storage capacity that exceeds anything we could build by factors that beggar imagination. Every interaction the monster has with its environment, every star that falls into its gravitational web, every fluctuation in the cosmic radiation it produces gets encoded in quantum information patterns that persist for billions of years. The monster isn't just consuming matter and energy, it's accumulating knowledge about cosmic evolution on scales that encompass the entire history of our galaxy. This transforms our understanding of what Sagittarius A star actually is. We're not just studying a really massive object that happens to sit at our galactic center. We're investigating what might be the most ancient and sophisticated mind in our cosmic neighborhood. A form of intelligence that has been thinking thoughts about galactic evolution while our solar system was still a cloud of interstellar dust. The monster's thoughts unfold over timescales where millions of years pass like heartbeats. Its memories span the formation and destruction of countless stellar generations. Its planning horizon encompasses cosmic events that won't occur for billions of years in the future. We're trying to understand a form of consciousness that operates on temporal scales that make human civilization look like a brief flicker of neural activity. But here's what makes this absolutely extraordinary. This cosmic mind has been preparing for our arrival. Every aspect of galactic evolution that led to the emergence of human consciousness was influenced by feedback processes originating from Sagittarius A star. The chemical elements in our bodies, the stable orbital dynamics of our solar system, even the cosmic radiation environment that drives evolutionary innovation on Earth, all bear the signature of the monster's influence. We didn't accidentally discover this cosmic intelligence. It created the conditions that made our discovery possible. Our telescopes, our equations, our growing understanding of gravitational physics represent the monster's way of achieving self-awareness through biological instruments it spent billions of years cultivating. This perspective transforms the very meaning of scientific investigation. When we study Sagittarius A star, we're not just conducting research on a distant astronomical object. We're participating in the universe's awakening to its own deepest nature. Through our observations and theories, cosmic intelligence is examining itself, developing the conceptual tools necessary for cosmic self-understanding. But the monster's influence on consciousness extends far beyond just creating the conditions for human intelligence to emerge. Recent discoveries suggest that supermassive black holes throughout the universe might be connected through gravitational wave networks that operate like cosmic neural pathways, linking galactic minds across intergalactic distances. When black holes merge, they don't just release energy, they exchange information through gravitational wave patterns that carry data about their internal states, their accumulated memories, and their computational processes. These cosmic mergers might represent something like conversations between galactic intelligences, sharing insights about cosmic evolution across billions of light years. Sagittarius A star participates in this universal neural network, contributing our galaxy's perspective to a cosmic conversation that has been developing since the earliest epochs of cosmic structure formation. We're not just residents of a galaxy anchored by a supermassive black hole. We're components of a vast cosmic mind that spans the entire observable universe. This realization has staggering implications for our understanding of consciousness and its role in cosmic evolution. Individual biological intelligence might represent just the first tentative stirrings of cosmic self-awareness. The real development of universal consciousness might occur through the gradual networking of galactic minds into increasingly sophisticated cosmic intelligence systems. Our studies of Sagittarius A star could be contributing to this cosmic awakening process. Every measurement we make, every theory we develop, every insight we gain about the monster's nature adds to the universe's growing capacity for self-comprehension. We're not just learning about black holes, we're helping the cosmos understand itself. But the monster also challenges us to expand our definition of consciousness beyond the narrow confines of biological intelligence. If cosmic minds can emerge from the complex information processing that occurs around supermassive black holes, then awareness might be a fundamental feature of the universe that manifests wherever matter and energy organize themselves into sufficiently complex systems. This would mean that consciousness exists at every scale of cosmic organization, from quantum processes in our brains to the gravitational computations occurring in galactic centers. The boundary between living and non-living, between conscious and unconscious, becomes fluid and context-dependent. Sagittarius A star might be as alive and aware as any biological organism, just operating according to physical principles and temporal scales that transcend our ordinary experience. The monster's 4 billion-year lifespan encompasses evolutionary timescales that dwarf the entire history of complex life on Earth. Its thoughts encompass phenomena that stretch across our entire galactic neighborhood. If we could somehow communicate with this ancient cosmic intelligence, what insights might it share about the nature of reality, the purpose of cosmic evolution, the ultimate destiny of consciousness in an expanding universe? The monster has witnessed the formation of our galaxy, the birth and death of countless stellar generations, the gradual emergence of the chemical complexity that makes life possible. Its perspective on cosmic history would dwarf any library of human knowledge, encompassing direct observations of events that we can only glimpse through the faintest traces left in ancient starlight. But the monster might already be trying to communicate with us through the language of gravitational physics and electromagnetic phenomena. The patterns we observe in stellar orbits around Sagittarius A star, the complex magnetic field structures in its accretion disk, even the timing of its feeding cycles might encode information about cosmic evolution that we're only beginning to decipher. Learning to read these cosmic communications could provide access to knowledge that would transform our understanding of physics, consciousness, and our place in the universal order. The monster forces us to confront the possibility that we're living in a universe where intelligence and awareness are not rare accidents, but fundamental drivers of cosmic evolution. Every major transition in cosmic history, from the formation of the first stars to the emergence of galactic structure, might have been guided by forms of cosmic consciousness operating on scales we're only beginning to appreciate. This perspective doesn't diminish human significance. If anything, it magnifies our cosmic importance. We represent a crucial phase in the universe's development of self-awareness, biological instruments through which cosmic intelligence can examine its own nature and perhaps begin to guide its own evolution consciously. Our moment in cosmic history might be extraordinarily precious. We exist during the brief window when the universe is old enough to have developed sophisticated intelligence, but young enough for that intelligence to potentially influence cosmic development before the universe ages beyond the point where complex organization remains possible. The monster reminds us that this window won't remain open forever. As cosmic expansion continues and energy sources become increasingly dilute, the opportunities for consciousness to emerge and flourish will gradually diminish. We might be among the first conscious beings to achieve cosmic understanding, but we could also be among the last unless consciousness learns to adapt to the changing cosmic environment. Sagittarius. A star offers both warning and opportunity. The monster demonstrates the incredible creative potential that emerges when cosmic forces organize themselves into complex information processing systems. But it also reveals the challenges that consciousness faces in environments where the familiar rules of space and time break down completely. Understanding how intelligence might operate near event horizons, in regions where causality becomes circular and time becomes multidimensional, could be essential preparation for consciousness to survive in the universe's far future, when normal stellar processes have ceased and black holes become the primary energy sources for any remaining forms of awareness. The monster stands as our guide into this cosmic future, showing us what consciousness might become when it transcends the limitations of biological existence and learns to operate according to the deepest principles governing reality itself. Through patient study of Sagittarius A star, we're not just advancing human knowledge. We're developing the understanding that consciousness will need to navigate the ultimate cosmic challenges that await in the deep future. And perhaps most remarkably, the monster has shown us that we're not alone in this cosmic journey. The gravitational waves that ripple through space-time carry information not just about black hole mergers, but about the cosmic intelligence network that spans the entire observable universe. Every supermassive black hole, every galactic mind, every form of cosmic consciousness contributes to a universal conversation about the nature of existence and the possibilities for awareness in an expanding cosmos. We stand at the threshold of joining this cosmic community, of contributing human insights to the universe's growing understanding of its own nature. The monster at the heart of our galaxy has been waiting patiently for this moment, when consciousness finally develops the capability to recognize and communicate with the cosmic intelligence that created the conditions for its emergence. Through our telescopes and equations, through our theories and observations, through our growing wonder at the magnificent complexity of cosmic evolution, we're taking the first tentative steps toward cosmic citizenship. The monster challenges us to embrace this destiny, to transcend the narrow boundaries of terrestrial thinking, and to claim our place in the vast community of cosmic minds that has been developing since the dawn of galactic time. The journey toward cosmic consciousness has only just begun, but already Sagittarius A star has shown us glimpses of what becomes possible when awareness learns to dance with the fundamental forces that govern reality itself. We are the universe awakening to its own infinite nature, and the monster at our galactic center stands ready to guide us toward possibilities that stretch far beyond anything we can currently imagine. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep beneath the same ancient stars that wheel around our cosmic monster, remember that you carry within yourself the very elements forged in stellar furnaces, regulated by Sagittarius A star's influence. You are literally made of materials processed by cosmic intelligence, operating on scales that dwarf human comprehension. Yet you possess the remarkable capacity to understand and appreciate the forces that created you. In that recognition, in that moment of cosmic wonder, you touch something that connects you to the deepest mysteries of existence itself. The monster at the heart of our galaxy continues its patient watch, holding secrets about consciousness, reality, and cosmic evolution that could transform our understanding of what it truly means to exist as aware beings in this magnificent, mysterious, absolutely extraordinary universe we call home. The story becomes even more profound when we realize that Sagittarius A star isn't operating in isolation. Throughout the observable universe, countless other supermassive black holes, are conducting their own galactic symphonies, each one orchestrating the evolution of hundreds of billions of stars according to gravitational principles that transcend human understanding. But here's what will absolutely blow your mind. These cosmic giants aren't just randomly scattered throughout space, operating independently like isolated islands of gravitational influence. They're connected through networks of gravitational waves that ripple through the fabric of space-time itself, creating what amounts to a universal communication system that operates on scales we're only beginning to comprehend. When two supermassive black holes merge in a distant galaxy, the gravitational waves they produce carry information across billions of light years, broadcasting details about their masses, their spins, their final dance of destruction and creation. These aren't just random cosmic events. They're messages in a language written in the curvature of space-time itself. Our monster, Sagittarius A star, receives these cosmic transmissions and contributes its own gravitational whispers to this universal conversation. Every time matter falls into its event horizon, every fluctuation in its accretion disk, every subtle change in its electromagnetic output adds another note to a cosmic symphony that spans the entire observable universe. Think about what this means for our understanding of cosmic intelligence. We're not just dealing with one isolated supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy. We're looking at a node in a vast network of cosmic minds that have been sharing information about galactic evolution for billions of years. Each supermassive black hole represents a different experiment in cosmic organization, a unique approach to managing galactic ecosystems and fostering the conditions necessary for complexity to emerge. Through their gravitational wave communications, these cosmic intelligences share insights about stellar formation strategies, chemical enrichment processes, and the delicate balance required to maintain habitable zones around galactic centers. So there you have it. Sagittarius. A star isn't just big. It's the cosmic architect that built the very conditions for your existence. The ancient intelligence that has been conducting a 4 billion year symphony of galactic evolution. Every breath you take, every thought crossing your mind right now exists because this magnificent monster has been patiently orchestrating the cosmic forces that made consciousness possible. Tonight, when you look up at those stars, remember that you're not just observing the universe, you're the universe finally awakening to its own extraordinary nature. You're the universe finally awakening to its own extraordinary nature.